Look. Welcome, everybody, to the series finale of Unshakable. Yeah! You made it. Who's got perfect attendance? Made it every week of the series. All right. You get your car washed after service Sunday. Paul, get on that. Let's start with just a brief review before the quiz at the end of class. You remember King Nebuchadnezzar, the evil, wicked king, conquered Judah and gathered the wisest, the brightest, stole them out of Judah, took them to Babylon and indoctrinated them into the wicked ways of Babylon. How's that for a movie title? The Wicked Ways of Babylon. And one of the young men we know that was captured was Daniel. And what we know about Daniel now is that he refused to stop praying, and therefore he was thrown into the lion's den. He survived, came out unharmed. God saved him. And then Daniel's three friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they refused to worship the king's giant golden idol. And as a result, they were thrown in the fiery furnace. And they also came out unharmed. God saved them. And now it's been 70 years since all that happened. Daniel is a little older, late 80s, early 90s. And now, so Babylon was the dominant superpower for ages, but now an even bigger, more dominant superpower, Persia, and the king of Persia has come in and conquered Babylon. So Babylon conquered Judah, but then an even bigger fish came along and swallowed Babylon. So this has created what we might call, good news, bad news. Remember those jokes? Got some good news, got some bad news. But this was good news and bad news for the Jewish people, because the good news is the prince of Persia, King Cyrus, declared that the Jewish people were released, that they could return to their homeland, they could rebuild their temple. That's good news. Daniel's happy about that. But remember earlier in the series, we said that Daniel was in Babylon, but he refused to let Babylon into him. Unfortunately, not everyone around him did the same thing. In fact, the majority were in Babylon, and Babylon was in them. Unlike Daniel, they were living in ways that really dishonored God. And you can imagine how much this upset Daniel. Daniel's overwhelmed with sorrow and concern for his people's broken relationship with God. In fact, he was so concerned for their spiritual well-being. Here's what he did in verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Cyrus of Persia, Daniel, also known as Belteshazzar, had another vision. And he understood that the vision concerned events certain to happen in the future, times of war and great hardship. And he goes on, he says, when this vision came to me, I, Daniel, had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks. All that time, I had eaten no rich foods, no meat or wine crossed my lips, and I used no fragrant lotions until those 3 weeks had passed. Now, Daniel is not trying to lose a few pounds and clear up his complexion before the high school reunion. That's not what's happening. Daniel is so overwhelmed and concerned for the spiritual well-being of his people that he does what he's been taught to do since his youth. Since he was just a little boy, he's been taught to fast and to pray and to earnestly seek God in heaven. And for 3 whole weeks, that's exactly what he's been doing. He sought God earnestly, and God gave him a vision as a result. He sees this vision, but the people with him do not. Verse 5. I looked up, and I saw a man dressed in linen clothing with a belt of pure gold around his chest, around his waist. His body looked like a precious gem. His face flashed like lightning, and his eyes flamed like torches. His arms and feet shone like polished bronze, and his voice roared like a vast multitude of people. So he has this vision, and he says, only I, Daniel, saw the vision. The men with me saw nothing, but they were suddenly terrified and ran away to hide. So I was left there all alone to see this amazing vision. So Daniel sees this amazing vision, but the people standing there with him do not see the vision. And this is so powerful because God had something special for Daniel. Just for Daniel. It wasn't meant for the other people. Maybe they weren't prepared for it. Maybe they didn't have the faith for it. Maybe they weren't present for it because they got scared and ran off. I believe God may have something special just for you this morning. That those around you do not see, do not understand. God may speak to you in a close, intimate, encouraging way and stir your emotions and raise your faith. And sitting right next to you could be someone who hears the same thing, sees the same thing, sings the same thing. But they're more focused on, wonder what kind of food's next door after service. I'm not saying that's bad. Food is good. Food is from God. We know that. But don't let it distract you from the presence of God. And that's what Daniel is referring to. He says, my strength left me. My face grew deathly pale, and I felt very weak. So he's in the presence of this angelic being, and he says, then I heard the man speak. And when I heard the sound of his voice, I fainted. I would have too. And lay there with my face to the ground. Just then a hand touched me and lifted me, still trembling, to my hands and knees. And the man said to me, Daniel, you are very precious to God. So at first he says, he lifted me. How many of you know our God is a lifter? God is a lifter, not a shoplifter, not a weightlifter. God is a lifter of your spirits, a lifter of your burdens, a lifter of your fears, a lifter of your worries and anxieties. King David said, but you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. God is our lifter. He will lift you up when you are feeling down. God lifts those he loves, and God loves you. He says, the voice says, I love these words, you are precious to God. And here again, I believe some of you here today, or those of you joining us online, will hear God whisper to you personally, you are precious to God. You will hear it, and you'll be encouraged by it, and the person next to you may be thinking about donuts. This is how it happens. Verse 12, and this is where it starts to get interesting. Then he said, don't be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day you began to pray for understanding and to humble yourself before your God, since the first day you began to pray, your request has been heard in heaven. I have come in answer to your prayer. 3 weeks you've prayed, and that's why I'm here today. And I know some of you have been praying the same prayer for the same person for so long. You're very close to why do I even keep praying this? I just want you to know, from the first moment that you prayed that first time, God heard your prayer. Same for Daniel. He's been praying and fasting and seeking God. And for 3 whole weeks, he saw nothing. Verse 13, but for 21 days, this is where it starts to get a little wild weird. Here we go. Ready? For 21 days, the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia blocked my way. So God is sending this angelic being in response to Daniel's prayers, but on his way to help Daniel, the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia blocks his way. Then Michael, one of the archangels, came to help. And I left him there with the spirit prince of the kingdom of Persia. So Daniel's praying and praying, and nothing's happening because the angel sent by God is actively engaged in an active battle with a fallen angel sent by Satan. So we're talking true spiritual warfare. So at that point, God then sends backup. Michael, the archangel, is sent to help the first angel, and so that he can now go and help Daniel. Friends, God sent warrior angels to help Daniel in his hour of need. And I think this is one of the greatest images of spiritual warfare in the entire Old Testament. Now, I know there's a lot going on in this verse, but we just need to be reminded how real spiritual warfare is. It's happening around us every single day. So when you're praying, there's more happening than you can see with your eyes. There's more happening than you can hear with your ears. When you pray, God hears your prayer in heaven, and he may even be releasing warrior angels to come to your side to rescue you. Always remember, the power of God is greater than the power of darkness. Always. So for those of you who have been praying and praying and waiting and seeing nothing, please remember Daniel. Daniel prayed and saw nothing, but just because he did not see God working does not mean God was not working. Let me say that again. Just because you don't see God working does not mean God is not working. This should encourage your heart and embolden your spirit. If you've been praying and waiting and praying, and you haven't seen anything, be encouraged. Because while you're waiting, God is working. While you're waiting, God is defending you from battles that you know nothing about. You're not even aware that they're happening. And that's why we walk by faith and not by sight. Verse 18, then the one who looked like a man touched me again, and I felt my strength returning. Don't be afraid, he said, for you are precious to God. Now, that's the second time we said that, so some of you didn't get it the first time, so I want to make sure everybody gets it the second time. You are precious to God. You are precious to God. And he hears your prayer the first time you pray. He cares about you. He hears the cries of your heart. You are precious to God. Then the angelic being speaks words of encouragement, and he says, peace, be encouraged, be strong. It's so powerful. You're precious to me. Peace, be encouraged, be strong. When you cast your cares on him, when you cry out to him, there's this indescribable peace that can come even in the midst of chaos. And God may speak those very words to you today. Be encouraged. Be strong. You are precious to God. And that is my prayer. That this week you would intently focus on hearing the voice of God as he encourages you, as he tells you you are precious to him, as he reminds you that he hears your every cry. That is my prayer for all of you.